Hi, it's Jess from Something Odd, Something New, and I am with the brilliant Oh My Goodness today, chatting all things debut singles, a few little bits about musical influences, and some fun little questions as well.
Hey everyone, my name's James. I am, oh my goodness, that's my project name. I'm based in Stockport, originally from near the Bright Lights of Scunthorpe. And yeah, I've got a debut single coming out. Looking forward to bringing that out.
Monetising Unkindness. Kind of going right back to the beginning, what was your first inkling of wanting to make music and to go into music?
I suppose a lot of people say, don't they, like, oh, was your mum and dad musical, things like that. I mean, my granddad came over from Ireland and he used to sing in all the clubs and stuff. So I think I didn't actually have a massive relationship with him just because I was quite young when he sort of passed away and stuff like that. But obviously, I suppose it's been ingrained a little bit in the family. Yeah, he used to sing with like Jerry and the Pacemakers and Roy Orbison in the clubs up in like the northeast and stuff. So I suppose there's a little bit of that, and then I've kind of, yeah, I suppose I would say I'm a musical family, but not particularly in key. I've always been quite, like, my brother's got a pub back home. We're always having sort of like parties and putting music and stuff on. So I suppose it's just from that, and I've then just sort of ended up playing in pubs and stuff as you do, and just going on from there really.
Because that's the thing, everyone starts somewhere, and I think if you look at pretty much anyone's music career, it always starts in a little pub, a little dingy pub, some sticky floors, and kind of like, oh, we'll pay you in beer, or
Yeah,
we'll pay you in something else usually.
I think when I started, unfortunately, I was probably too young to be starting on the beer, but yeah, we used to get a little bit of money. And looking back at some of the videos, I'm surprised we got paid at all, to be honest, because it was a bloody racket.
I think it's a good thing if everyone else is having a good time. I think a lot of time they're just like, oh, I just like to hear a bit of music. I think a lot of time
Yeah.
if you're going out and stuff. You do mention kind of your granddad, and you mentioned like Roy Orbison and stuff. I know you're quite a big fan of Edwyn Collins' "Losing Sleep" album. Very much a
Yeah.
big fan of that. Um, in your kind of musical journey, I know you've mentioned your granddad, but what music and people would you say inspired you the most, or have inspired you most so far in music?
My dad's always been, my mum and dad, both of them really, both, have always been, go and do your music, go and do your music. And when I'm not doing music, they're like, why are you not doing your music? They're like, very sort of keen for me to do it because I think they know how much I love it. But yeah, my dad's always sending me links of songs and, you know what I mean, like, all the time. But yeah, I mean, like my godfather as well, he actually passed away quite recently, but he was always sort of buying me CDs and bought my first record player and things like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm in terms of sort of like musical influence. I mean, I'm a massive like Brian Wilson fan, Beach Boys, love all the harmonies for that, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, I can remember watching like a BBC documentary quite a few years ago, and ever since then I've just been like, right, I want to be basically Brian Wilson, which is never going to happen.
I'd say I say Brian Wilson, but maybe a bit more settled. 'Cause I think it's very interesting how very much an artist where he made all his music, and then there's a lot of personal story behind it.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's the best kind of music, those kind of music where there's a humanness to it, kind of
yeah.
thing. You can kind of sense the story, which is really love. I mean, kind of speaking of stories, you don't go by your name, James. You go by Oh My Goodness as your stage name. What was the decision making or story behind choosing that name for this musical project?
Um, I, the thing is, it's like when I know you'll have spoke to numerous people about this, but um, you're trying to think of a name for a project is is a nightmare. And then you sort of think of bands like, I don't know, Arctic Monkeys, and you think that sounds like it was made on like a creator thing. They just put the
Yeah,
opposite,
band name generator.
name generator, but I don't think they even go by it now. I think they go by the Monkeys or something, don't they, or something like that. But yeah, I mean, I just kind of wanted something that wasn't necessarily seen as a band, wasn't just seen as you look on a poster and it's like, oh, it'll just be an acoustic guy. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but some people like to see a band or whatever. So I wanted
Yeah.
to sort of be like, oh, I wonder what that is in a way. And I thought like, oh my goodness, is just sort of a nice, that's what I want to bring to the music, I suppose. You know what I mean? It's but yeah, I think it was actually it's actually a Bon Iver. It's at the end of one of his songs. I'm trying to think what song it is now. I think it's 33 God. He actually said,
Oh yeah.
oh my goodness. And I just like, it's a tiny little bit. And I was like, oh, that's kind of nice, But it's a little bit of a talking point as well, because people are saying, oh, is it oh my goodness? I'm like, no, oh my goodness. And I'm like, but you remember it now, you know what I mean? Because they'll remember one of them anyway, maybe not the right one, but so
But it's
yeah,
still, as long as they remember it, kind of thing. I guess you've almost got a bit of a good reference there to kind of be like, oh, da da da. Like, it's
yeah,
quite a nice inside joke you've got, really.
yes,
Um,
good.
and it's
Um,
it's good as well because it's very transferable. If you could kind of like, if you're doing it yourself or if you're in a band, it's transferable. It's not just your name.
yeah,
You can easily transfer it and things if you ever change like lineup and stuff.
that's another sort of thing with it. I mean, I've got like a sort of six-piece sort of band together at the moment who are like good friends and stuff. But I mean, I've met quite a lot of people through playing like Albert Schloss and them sort of things. And I've met sort of people through that, like the guy who produces the stuff. He's the keyboardist and he plays there regularly and things like that. But yeah, that is essentially the other thing is that if I had to do it, I could sort of pick it up and move it somewhere else, and it could still be what it. You have to change the name, change the band members and things like that.
With the kind of oh my goodness, you've very much got quite a positive view of the world kind of thing. You're very much it's a very optimistic view. I think you have of a lot of things. If in general, even when you look at your social media, you're very much like just kind of like, oh, you're just very happy, very ready to have a go kind of thing, which is always really nice to see because you don't. It feels like you don't take yourself too seriously, which is always really nice to see in a musician. With that optimism, you've got monetizing unkindness as your debut single. What's the story behind? I kind of have a feeling I know kind of the story behind it, but what's the story behind Monetizing Unkindness? And what's the story behind the song?
Monetizing kindness was it's a bit of a wordy title really, but I didn't really know any other way of sort of wording it once I'd written it. But I mean, essentially, like, I mean, I definitely wouldn't say I'm a political artist in any way. So like, it's kind of funny really because people are obviously looking at what I'm saying, but I suppose it's about what it says, monetizing kindness. I mean, some of the lyrics about sort of they watch from afar like a burning sunset, and it's sort of control where we're born, things like that. I suppose it's just a sort of way of saying that people higher up the food chain, if you like, and make money off it. You know what I mean? Which is the bottom line of it. But without getting too political, that's kind of what the gist of it was. I usually write love songs, to be honest, but it was I just thought I'd give it a go at doing something a little bit different. So
But it's such good timing for a song like it, even if the intention is not for it to be like, oh my gosh, like the world is burning kind of thing. There's still very much a thing of it resonates quite well, I think, especially with a lot of what's going on at the moment, but also
yeah,
kind of that hope of like, well, actually, here's a realization of actually we could be doing better kind of thing, which is nice to see. So I think even if
yeah,
it's not a political kind of reasoning for it, I think it does fit really well just in this kind of in hope. It's very hope core, as
yeah.
some people may call it, kind of thing.
That's kind of what I wanted to give, and just sort of you know, I know the cliches, we do have more in common than we, you know what I mean? Then, especially, we're all fighting against each other, we're all getting up and going to our 9 to 5 jobs doing it, you know what I mean? We should be friends. Like, why is everybody arguing amongst themselves,
Yeah,
while everybody, while they're just basically laughing at us, up there. I don't know what I mean by up there, but hopefully you know what I mean.
yeah. Oh, I totally get you.
I'm not naming
Honestly,
names.
to kind of yeah. So kind of with this track, because I know you've been writing quite a bit of music over the past year or so. Why did you want to release this track as your debut single compared to one of the other tracks that you've written? Why was this the one you went, this is how I want to introduce All My Goodness to the world?
I think, like you mentioned before, it's definitely the timing of what's sort of been going on. She recently got stuck in Sri Lanka, or Crimea River, but yeah, I got stuck in Sri Lanka because of all the Iran stuff going on, and like even just over there, I was thinking, they're not even directly involved, and there's like people they were queuing for miles for like fuel and like like not having to take time off work. It was what I mean. You think they're not even involved in this war. So I suppose that was kind of the last sort of thing where I thought, yeah, maybe it's a good time to bring it out. Like there's a lot of conflicts going on in the world, and I think that was mainly it was the timing sort of thing, because I did have another track that I was and ahhing about at the time, but that's going to be the second one now. So
Yeah. I think it's a good way to kind of go of like this is what I'm about. There's kind of it's a relatability that's nice to see. Very, very nice to see, especially kind of with almost like in indie folk kind of stuff. It's really, really nice to see.
Thank you.
And as well with the track as well, it's very much it's indie folk kind of style. It's got that kind of optimism kind of thing. If you were to describe your musical style as a beverage, though, whether it's like a cocktail or pop or whatever, what drink would you choose to describe your musical style, and why would you choose that?
I mean, I am an old man when it comes to drinks. So I mean, I love like my hand pulled ales, stuff like that. I'm like the least cool bloke ever. But yeah, I suppose especially like some of the other songwriting, it's very much sort of like I don't even know how to describe it. It's like I love like for example the Pogues, like the storylines of like some of the Pogue stuff, and you're almost like
Oh yeah,
on, and you picture yourself just like sat in a pub, like you know what I mean, and it's that sort of down to earth feel of like people like I love like Billy Joel for that as well, like very much like storytelling. You know what I mean, with the sort of lyrics. But yeah, I mean, I would probably like a nice hand-pulled ale, maybe a whiskey on the side as well afterwards.
oh that's good. I think you've got to have a. I think the whiskey kind of ups it a bit, adds an extra layer.
Yeah, adds a bit of class. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Would it be like a classic whiskey, do you think? Would it be like a really aged whiskey, or is it going to be like standard Jack Daniels kind of thing?
I like I can't remember the name of it now. Yeah, I always get it when I go through duty free, and I can never remember the name of it. You'll have to come back. You'll have to come back on me. It's an Irish
Yeah.
whiskey. It's really nice.
I was going to say, is it
Well,
Jameson? Because I know
not
I was going to
Jameson,
say,
not Jameson. Although you know I am partial to the Jameson. I
yeah.
can't actually name it. That's really annoying. I'm not going to be getting sponsored by them. I can't even remember the name. But yeah, definitely whiskey anyway.
And it's kind of a thing as well. I think with that, I think it says a lot about because you're quite a social musician as well. You do quite like kind of going out your mates. A lot of friends are in the bands and things, and then you're on a solo musical venture. You've been bands kind of over the years. When it comes to the creative process of kind of making the music kind of on your own, and then making it as a band
Yeah.
and playing with a band, what differences have you found?
This is the thing with this. This is like my first ever solo sort of project. Like I said, I've done sort of stuff in the past. I've got like my cousin. We used to play. We've just kind of put it on the back burner. To be fair, it's not officially over or anything like that. But he's playing with another friend of mine at the moment. They're doing quite well. A band called Soma Please, if anyone wants to check them
Okay.
out. And I just sort of write whatever I want to write, I suppose. Where when you've got more people in, sort of like cooks in the kitchen, but at the same time, I'm very much. I sort of say to the lads when they come around and stuff like, I'm not a guitarist, you know. I'm not a drummer. I'm not this. Like, I'm not sort of. This is how it's got to go, and you know, this is how it is. I think I like people, even though I've got the sort of structures written out. I like to sort of let them put their expertise on it. You know what I mean? They're the ones who are the master of that instrument. So there's no point in me telling them what to do. Yeah, there's that sort of element of it. But I do love writing as a band as well. I think that's sort of going. We've lost it a little bit since, you know, a lot of things now. It's like we're sat at a computer, and I think you can tell when a song's been written on a computer. It's not that criticizing that. You know, there's a time and a place for it. I think it depends on the type of music as well. But I mean, I just sort of sit at the piano there. I'll come up with the basics of the structure, and then usually the guitarist or somebody else will come in and we'll sort of improve it, I suppose.
Because it is in a time as well where so many people are, and there's so much news-wise. There's so many people now that are literally just hopping on like, oh yeah, ChatGPT, write me a song kind of thing. So it's kind of a thing of like sitting down at piano. I think that's the best way to do music though, is even if you've not got ideas, it's a good thing of having other people.
Yeah.
But then when you write from the heart as well, it's really nice and personal. There's quite a lot of benefits to each side, I'd say, if anything.
Yeah,
What I've seen.
that's what I mean. I don't get it really in terms of like. Well, I mean, you know what I mean. The only reason you'd be using AI, unless you're doing it for part of the song, is just you're not. You know what I mean? There's no fun in that, is there? What's the point? Like the whole, you know what I mean? The whole point is like the fun, creative side of it, surely. But I don't know. Yeah, people are just mad at it.
Very much the thing of like I'd want robots and AI to do my laundry and my washing up so I could write music kind of thing.
You know what I mean?
That's
That's
like
fine.
the kind of vibes of the thing. I mean,
Yeah.
speaking of kind of the creative process and then kind of making music as well, what would you say has been your favorite kind of highlight of making music so far, whether it's been in with bands and stuff or on your own? What's been like your favorite highlight so far of making music?
Well, I mean, I am obviously loving doing this, which is the first. You know, I found a sort of new. I did lose my way a little bit with sort of thing. You know, you get disheartened about where you want to go and like things like that, where you want to sort of your angle you're going for. I was sort of doing music full time, and then realized I was by the time I'd got to like the time when I could do my own stuff, I was like a little bit, you know what I mean, not really that interested in piano because I've been sat there all week. And there's only so many times you can play Mr. Brightside at a wedding. As great of a song as it.
As good as
So
the money may be, Mr.
exactly,
Brightside is not. Oh gosh, I imagine you hear it in your dreams. How often
yeah.
you kind of
Sweet
like do
Caroline,
it.
Brightside, all the classics, but people love it, and that's absolutely fine. You know what I mean? There's a time and a place for it. I'm not criticizing it at all. I think it's very easy to get lost in that sort of function world, and it's like you say, the money's reasonably good, you're ticking over, but yeah, I don't know. I've actually ended up being more productive since I started doing 12-hour shifts in the ambulance service, and I'm like, oh, I really, you know what I mean? I'm cracking on with stuff. So yeah, it's weird, but I mean, highlights for me in terms. I mean, my favourite thing is performing live. I love it, and I haven't done it properly in originals for band for ages. So we're just actually arranged playing on the 17th of June. It is at the Eagle Inn. That's going to be the first sort
Oh,
of.
that'll be fab.
So yeah,
It's good timing as well because Eagle Inn, they've taken a load of the building works down, so you can actually
yeah,
see Eagle Inn
you can
now.
actually
So
get
that's
there.
like, it's brilliant. No
Yeah,
one's getting lost in Manchester now, getting to Eagle Inn for once, which is
it was a
amazing. It's a
nightmare.
miracle.
Yeah, yeah. So
Absolute miracle.
yeah. So I mean, I just love like the performance side of anything really. Like, but that's definitely my favourite part of all of this.
Yeah. Because I think your music really, I think when you start performing, that's when your music really comes to life. Because there's some songs that kind of like, they're like, oh, they're good on record. But then when you see someone standing on stage singing it, pouring their heart out, I think that's when it really becomes like something special.
Yeah,
Like it makes such a difference.
I think yeah, it definitely does. And that's sort of kind of got an emphasis on that of like, it's like you say, it's annoying. You really like a band, and then you go on YouTube or whatever, because you're on the tour, and then you play the live thing, and you think, oh, this is like, it's like this not great, is it? But it's still fine. It's a different sort of approach, I suppose. But yeah, very much like, I think because like the previous band I was in, it was quite very different to what I'm doing at the moment. Very sort of almost like electronic, really. But like we did have like a live band with it and stuff, but a lot of samples and stuff like that, which was great. It was just a completely different way of writing. But I do like the idea with this of like I can essentially just rock up anywhere that's got a bit of a PA system, and we can just have a crack sort of thing. So that's kind of what I'm trying to keep it as at the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Start small but mighty kind of thing. Doing
Yeah.
like doing like Rosa Monkey in Manchester, or doing like jam nights at Band on the Wall and stuff. Because I think it's the good thing of being a musician in Manchester. There's so many places you can go and play music.
Yeah.
And you can meet people that are doing them. Like as a journalist, I go to a lot of networking stuff. So it's a lot of people I know that I've met through networking events, and then I've been to their gigs and then seen them at festivals or whatever. It's a good thing of, I think Manchester's so interconnected. I think Stockport has a bit of a scene. I think Manchester's a bit more. A lot of people kind of like Blossoms came from Stockport, but they were in Manchester more than they were in Stockport, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it's finding the right place. I think when you find your place, though, that's when you really know you kind of you sort of you're on to like our final question really now. So I know we've got the gig at Eagle Inn on the 17th of June. We've got another single coming out. Is that like if that's coming out this year or whatever? What plans have you got though for 2026 that people can look forward to?
I'm definitely going to be doing a lot more gigs. That's the first sort of one that we've solid, in the calendar. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking to get, like quite a lot, try and get some sports, obviously early on, and then some festivals and things like that. That's sort of the plan going forward. Hoping, as mentioned, my cousin and that before, he's in, my friend based in Lisbon, so I'm hoping to do a gig over there as well, which would be quite good, obviously. We do go over there quite a lot. There in a couple of weeks, recording a music video for the next single.
Oh, wow.
So that's quite good. But yeah, I think just trying to, I think as well with it being a solo project, I'm very much like, you got to keep telling yourself, come on, keep going. You know what I mean? You've not got someone to sort of bounce.
You got to self-motivate yourself, kind of thing, which it can be so difficult, but then when it's done, it's like the best thing ever.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. I'm just trying, and also, I'm having to sort of spend money on studios and things like that. And it's like when it's just one person, it's quite difficult. But like you say, it's hopefully a gamble that pays off in it. So that's my hope in the future.
Where can people find Oh My Goodness online? Where can people find your music? Where can people find out about yourself as an
Yeah.
artist? Where can people find you online?
So I mainly use Instagram, to be fair, but I probably should create a Facebook and things like that. I think I do post on there for like family and stuff. But yeah, mainly on Instagram, which is all_my_goodness, and then the same on TikTok as well. Do post some stuff on there as well. But yeah, obviously, and then the same on TikTok as well. Do post some stuff on there as well. But yeah, when this is coming out, so maybe maybe. Already out on Spotify and iTunes and things like that. Obviously, it'll be on there as well, so that'll be where you'll be able to keep on track of it going forward.